and welcome to Catalan News. Catalonia has its parliament up and running again after the Spanish government dissolved it 3 months ago. The opening session of the new term was held today and Roget Torrent has been appointed as new parliament president. The pro-independence parties kept the majority in the Chamber's bureau, despite some MPs being absent. They were in prison or in Brussels, risking jail if they return. Their colleagues, though, did not forget them. This was not something to everybody's liking, and here at Catalan News, we'll get you everything about today's session, and we'll introduce you to Roget Torrent. The last Catalan Parliament plenary session on October 27th saw lawmakers passing a resolution declaring independence. Immediately after that, the Spanish government sacked the whole Catalan government and abruptly dissolved the chamber. Today was the first step to recovering the situation prior to the suspension of Catalonia's self-rule. The parliament is open again with a pretty visible change. Roget Torrent has been elected as president of the institution after Carme Forcadell gave up continuing in the post.
The new Catalan Parliament president, young pro-independence MP Roget Torrent, was elected today in the second round of voting. He will have work to do, starting with relaunching the chamber after it was dissolved by the Spanish government in October. In a speech given after being sworn in, Torrent disclosed some of his future intentions as president.
Conjurem-nos per recuperar les institucions del país i tornar-les a posar al servei de la ciutadania, el més aviat possible. Jo, personalment, vull fer de la democràcia i la convivència els pilars fonamentals del meu mandat.
As with everything in Catalan politics in the past few months, the opening session of the new parliamentary term today was unusual. 8 pro-independence MPs could not attend, as they are either in jail or in Brussels, risking prison should they return. The interim bureau in place only for today accepted a delegated vote for the ones behind bars, something that was not welcomed by the main unionist party.
Yo creo que el Parlamento de Cataluña tiene que estar al servicio de todos los catalanes y me parece que no se puede empezar con mal pie, no se puede empezar saltándonos el reglamento del Parlamento.
There was some uncertainty about whether pro-independence parties would prevail in today's voting, despite the absences. In the end, the MPs in Belgium didn't need to ask for a delegated vote, a move Madrid could have challenged, because the in-between party Catalonia in Common did not support the unionist candidate. Yellow ribbons were placed on some of the seats of the 8 absent MPs in a show of solidarity. Before the plenary session came to a close, pro-independence representatives chanted freedom for their jailed colleagues. And today, the session was not only unusual, but also full of symbolism. Today was a symbolic day for the Catalan Parliament, with MPs who were not able to attend receiving applause from their colleagues. But this does not mean that there were not also some tense moments as well. And we will be seeing tense moments like these in the upcoming plenary sessions more and more, as big decisions are made, such as, for example, whether or not to invest Carles Puigdemont as Catalan president from a distance in Brussels. We've also spoken to various representatives from political parties who've told us how they feel about this possibility and as well given their opinion on the new Catalan Parliament president.
We think that it's important to read the report of the lawyers of the Parliament. It says that it's not possible to have an investiture in distance, so a person that is not here in the Parliament. So we believe that finally the different political parties will follow this report.
So it's not that he has to be invested virtually. We are in the 21st century and we can use all those tools. And so the most important thing is that the voice of the citizens has to be heard in the Parliament, and they have chosen President Puigdemont and he will have to be invested.
És que més enllà dels reglaments, el reglamentarisme, és que políticament la Generalitat de Catalunya està a Catalunya i allà on s'ha de recuperar és a Catalunya i això difícilment es fa des de Brussel·les.
No és un discurs, si més no en les seves paraules, de compromís amb la institucionalitat republicana i amb el procés constituent, sinó de retorn a un escenari de recuperació de les institucions autonòmiques, del qual ja vam sortir gràcies al referèndum de l'1 d'octubre.
No tenim cap esperança de trobar en el senyor Torrent una persona imparcial, una persona que sigui el president de tots els diputats i diputades i no només un president que ja ha dit públicament que està compromès amb l'independentisme.
Creiem que ha tingut un to conciliador que ens fa pensar que potser hi ha un trencament de la línia de la presidència del Parlament en relació al que ha estat la presidència del Parlament durant la darrera legislatura.
Roget Torrent was elected with 65 votes, winning over José María Espejo Saavedra from Ciutadans with 56. For the pro-independence MP, it was the biggest achievements of his not-so-long political career, becoming the Parliament's president, that is, the second highest-ranking official in the country. And his road towards this post started some years ago in his little hometown, Sarrià de Ter, just north of Girona.
Roget Torrent is the new president of the Catalan Parliament. As an MP for left-wing Esquerra Republicana, his candidacy was backed by all pro-independence parties, which together hold a narrow majority at the chamber. At 38 years old, he is the youngest person to assume the post, and he is doing so in a crucial moment for the institution, right after an election imposed by the Spanish government, which still controls the Catalan administration. During the campaign, he became one of the most visible figures of his party.
Resistim i persistim perquè sabem que Esquerra Republicana, i ells també ho saben, que Esquerra Republicana és l'única garantia de fer front, de parar els peus al bloc monàrquic del 155.
Torrent's rise has been possible in part because his predecessor, Carme Forcadell, stepped aside due to the charges she faces for allowing a declaration of independence last October. He takes this post totally clean, but knowing that the Spanish prosecutor will have an eye on him. Unlike Forcadell, a grassroots activist, Torrent has been in the party since he was 19. He studied political science and became mayor of his hometown at 27. Now, more than 10 years later, he is leaving this office to assume the country's second most important political post. Torrent's first decision as Parliament President will have great consequences: whether to accept Carles Puigdemont being re-elected President from Brussels. Parliament lawyers rejected this possibility in a recent report, and if Torrent's past statements are anything to go by, the lawyers' criteria could prevail.
Torrent will lead the Chamber's Bureau, which is the body that regulates the activity in Parliament. In the past term, it played a crucial role as it allowed debate and votes on the referendum and independence. The 5 Bureau members who voted in favour of these initiatives now face charges of rebellion, sedition and misuse of funds, which can carry up to 30 years in prison. None of them continue in the parliamentary body. Yet the pro-independence forces will continue controlling the Bureau, taking 4 out of the 7 posts after several rounds of voting. You know him, the leader of this authority will be Roget Torrent from Esquerra Republicana. The first vice president of the Bureau will be Josep Costa from Puigdemont's Together for Catalonia, while the second will be José María Espejo Saavedra from Ciutadans. The body also has 4 secretaries: Together for Catalonia's Josep Campdepadrós, the socialist David Perez, Joan Garcia from Ciutadans, and Alba Verges from Esquerra. They all took office today, sitting in the seats they will hold during the term. Coinciding with today's session in Barcelona, Strasbourg held the plenary meeting of a much broader institution, the European Parliament. And one more day, Catalonia was one of the issues under discussion. Today, it was the Irish Prime Minister, Leo Varadkar, who tackled the conflict between Catalonia and Spain. He said that the only way out is launching a dialogue, and has suggested that Madrid take the initiative. Varadkar also talked about Barcelona.
On Catalonia, and one of my favourite parts of the world, Barcelona is one of my favourite cities. I think the only solution is dialogue, and I hope that the central government in Madrid will engage in dialogue with the new government in Catalonia.
Moving on, tourism is a global industry. It is also one of the biggest sectors in Catalonia, bringing not only millions of people each year, but also millions of euros for the economy. And once again, Catalonia is being represented at the annual International Tourism Trade Fair held in Madrid, demonstrating what the country has to offer and showing how the industry is showing signs of recovery.
The International Tourism Trade Fair kicks off again today in Madrid for its 38th edition. And once more, Catalonia has set up shop with its very own stand promoting tourism in the country. And this year, the focus of the Catalan stand is on cultural tourism, highlighting aspects of Catalan heritage, such as castellers, human castles, and the many museums within the country.
Catalunya seguirà, com ha fet fins ara, oferint propostes interessants per tots els mercats, també l'espanyol, i ells no hi renunciaran en la mesura que nosaltres sapiguem donar allò que esperen trobar.
But the effect of recent political events hung over the event for the Catalan Tourism Agency. The number of tourists coming to the country decreased in the final quarter of last year, partly due to the political situation between Spain and Catalonia. and this was a hot topic for both tourism officials and professionals within the sector itself.
Antes era un poco más complicado, ahora parece que la gente ya se está haciendo la idea que la cosa está más tranquila.
Creo que ha variado un poquito, ahora cuesta un poco más vender Cataluña.
Despite this, the Catalan tourism industry remains positive for the future. The country has a lot to offer after all, from city breaks to nature tourism and everything in between. And 2018, although still in its early days, has already started to see positive results.
Estem veient que estem en un procés de recuperació clar després d'aquesta contenció del darrer trimestre de l'any.
As the crisis between the Spanish and Catalan governments calms down for now, only time will tell how well the industry recovers after the slump at the end of last year. But one thing is worth bearing in mind. Despite the decrease in tourism, foreign visitors still came to the country in their millions.
Moving on to culture now. Catalan cinema has been described by some of the most prominent directors in the field as providing a refreshing perspective on major topics like masculinity, femininity, and what it means to be alone. And here, the most prestigious recognition comes with the Gaudi Awards. This year will mark the 10th edition of the awards ceremony put on by the Catalan Film Academy. Nominees for the 22 categories of the 2018 prizes gathered today in one of Barcelona's most grandiose hotels, 11 days before the event itself. Films in the running include The Bookshop and Estiu 1993, or Summer 1993 in English, which have already become internationally known. And according to the president of the Academy, promoting Catalan cinema is more important than ever.
I aquesta lluita perquè el nostre cine es normalitzi, perquè, com hem dit moltes vegades, és l'última pota de la cultura catalana que falta normalitzar pel que fa a la llengua, per exemple.
And that's all for today's show. But before we go, we want to show you to what extent today's opening session in the Catalan Parliament is formal and solemn. Right after Torrent being sworn in, he inspected the honour guard of the Catalan police, the Mossos d'Esquadra. Take a look at the images, as they don't happen every day. Thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow for more Catalan news.